Alright, I had an issue the other day. We had a bunch of Pinball Wizard II boards not communicating with our slave computer in the back. So I had to go through and test a bunch of them. I thought I'd give a tip on how you can test a lot faster. This is one of the boards that we're putting in, or this is a new one, so I know this is a known good. It's shipped from f.e.c repairs. I'm just setting it back in. First step, you gotta make sure your jumpers are set up accordingly to your power that you're using, either the 115 or the 230. Then I just go ahead and I set it in here, and as I said, we are just testing them. So I only put in 2 screws to secure it, to hold it in, because you'll end up swapping out a bunch of boards, and this is for if you're testing a bunch. I'm going to lightly put that one in until I get the other one set up, and then I'll just pin them both down. So I've got the just basically these 2 screws set up in here, and it's just to hold it into place. And what we were testing is we're actually testing just communication between the slave computer, not actually any actions, because we don't want to raise or lower any motors. We were just having issues with the whole system not communicating. It actually did not see that we actually had bumpers on the lanes itself, and we checked everything else. So the next thing I did to make it to simplify it was I moved these out of the way just by taking some electrical tape. Because I want to be sure to keep those wires away from the board. I didn't want anything just crossing here. Even though I'm not sending any signals out, at least kept it out of my way so I could swap in and out a bunch of boards real fast. And then I connected my phase and my neutral. Make sure your dip switches are set properly. This is basically lane 17 and 18, so I'd need 1 and 5 to be on. And all of this is, if you haven't noticed, being done with no power connected. Alright, so I had 1 and 5 on, and then as long as you make sure that it's not your communication cables that has been messing up your system, you connect your output line if you're testing beyond this point, and then you'd connect your input line. So there I'm set up. I won't really connect the left and right lane connections here. It's basically like the, see if I can see which J1, I think it's J1 and J2. Yeah, J1 and J2. Because we're just doing the communications, I'm not actually raising it. And that's how I tested the boards rapidly. I could just plug one in, then I go power up the slave computer and wait for a minute and see that it recognized that board is actually in there, and then just kept carrying it on for testing purposes. But the part about this one is I just letting you know that since you're just testing the board and the communications, you don't have to take the time and waste the time connecting up all your signal as well as your power output to the Pinball Wizard motor. Another final thing to add before powering this board up is since it's the beginning of the chain on and it's a Pinball Wizard II motor control board. There's on JP1 here, there's a jumper. It's had to be on U. It's going to be open for an open circuit, or if this is the very final end of the chain, I would move these 2 over and switch to the final 2 pins, which would have the T and the central one joined with the jumper. That would only be if it was on a final set of lanes with the bumper controller board.
and then I would power it up.